Reru, are you there? Hey, Reru! Come out, it's urgent!
Dane? What's wrong?
Quick, come with me. I'll explain everything once we've met up with the others.
Okay. I'll come. But the Lindis is still over at the Universitas. I'll need to leave her a note.
All right then, but make it quick.
I've never seen Dane so worked up before. Whatever this is, it must be big trouble.
Well, this is a nice change, meeting you all at this hour. When men and women of ambition can speak face to face in broad daylight, I say that's a big step forward for our dear Conria.
Don't be ridiculous. We do not fear the day. Why would we seek refuge in the night?
You might ask your blade that same question. I'm told it prefers the cover of darkness. The word on the street is that Sir Elegy only strikes when he has an unfair advantage. But that is patently false. I see you're missing an arm and a leg. Surely only a fair fight could explain that.
If this is your way of offering me replacement limbs, believe me, I'll take them.
Oh, we can certainly discuss that. With bioalchemy, anything is possible. Assuming I have your full support in my research.
Lunatic. Raptatir, what brings you here?
Why, Dainsleif, of course. He invited me. Please, cast aside your apprehensions, Miss Rhine-daughter. Whatever the rumors may say, I am but a humble servant of the king, and I can assure you he affords me no greater convenience than he does you.
Well, the Universitas Magistrorum won't stop fawning over you. So at least some of the rumors must be true. You're clearly doing well for yourself, so drop the humble servant act. It endears you to no one. You're president of the Universitas Magistrorum, the chief royal mage known as the Wise by royal appointment, and by far the most favored among the 4 pillars of Conria. Vice President Veit doesn't even try to hide his envy when he sees you.
My success is the product of hard work and good luck. It's as simple as that. Were the king not such an extremist, I hardly think I would have received a senior post at my age. Of course, no job is without its gripes. Serving a king like ours can be a challenging task, as I'm sure you can imagine. And as for Efterveit, in missing out on the presidency, he's dodged a mountain of stress. Like everything else in life, it comes with pros and cons.
You're all here. I apologize for the short notice, but it was an emergency.
You must be Rerir.
Mr. Sertologi. Yes, I handled your case file during your sentencing. Nothing personal, of course. I'm pleasantly surprised that you remember me.
You're clearly a person of substance if you've been invited here. But Dainsleif, you'd better have a very good reason for convening this little gathering.
It's my brother, Vedofenir. After he spoke at the court this morning, the king was so infuriated by his words that he had him blinded in both eyes and thrown in prison.
Vedofenir in prison? Strange. I thought the king trusted him and Horoptatyr more than anyone else in the world. Does this mean the king's circle of trust just got even smaller?
It has nothing to do with trust. It's about what the king wants, which is as clear as day to anyone paying attention. I simply appease him, because it's in the best interests of the Universitas Magistrorum.
And also because you're slimy. Vedofenir, perhaps less so. But still, a visionless visionary? It rather inclines me to think that qualifications are not what get you ahead in Conria.
Do you honestly think this is an important discussion to be having right now?
Dane, what are you planning to do?
Rescue Vedofenir, I assume.
Correct. It will mean storming the palace by force. Tonight. I need all of you on my side.
That's far too dangerous. And don't forget, Dainsleif, you're captain of the Royal Guard. You swore an oath to the throne.
You've been planning this for a while, haven't you?
I have no desire to commit treason. But whatever critique the king may have of Vedofenir, disfiguring your most loyal subject for putting the best interests of his court and nation first, this is not the conduct of a wise ruler. My blade will force the king to see the error of his ways.
So, Vedofenir's prophecy enraged the king. I'm sure it wasn't what he wanted to hear, but if he won't take counsel even from the visionary, that is deeply troubling news. The extent of His Majesty's madness is now all too clear. The question is, how does a man like me get out of this situation unscathed? You have noble ambitions, Dane, but I'm afraid they don't do much for a guy like me. I'm not interested in saving the world. All I want is a letter of pardon.
A letter of pardon? For whom? Thelindis? The chances of the Vinster King issuing a pardon for anyone connected to the Crimson Moon seem vanishingly slim. This black fog over the board must have some connection to Thelindis. But why is it taking this form? Does it have something to do with Rerir's past? Another mystery I'll need to unravel.
Author Thelindis. Over the course of this week, the research object was subjected to interference for a total of 60 hours for experimental purposes. The results are as follows. Research dating back to the Crimson Moon Dynasty has established 2 points regarding Moon Marrow. Firstly, its origins have something to do with a god's power. Secondly, it serves as a portal to an as-yet indeterminate location. Moon Marrow can thus be defined as a spatial gateway. However, there are a number of hurdles to overcome before we can answer the question of where it leads to. To start with, opening the gateway requires a specific power source, which the relevant literature indicates. An enormous amount of power is then required to keep the gate open. Currently, the total power output of our instruments remains in the single digits. To make matters worse, I am now the only staff member remaining in the Moon Marrow lab. The Universitas Magistrorum recently decided to move most of its personnel into abyssal energy research, which has stymied all Crimson Moon-related projects. This is not a wise move. I have always maintained that placing all our hopes in a single source of power is risky, especially one as poorly understood as this. As well as making ourselves overly reliant on a single resource, we are neglecting other promising technologies. I apologize if this comes across as disrespectful. But as a Moon Marrow researcher, I desperately want to see the world beyond the gateway. If we really made it there one day, what would we find? And how would we go about taming the unknown? My imagination is endlessly fueled by questions such as these. This is for you. I heard you're gonna leave the city with your parents.
The Lindis. Did you hear about what happened?
I've heard nothing. Rerir got back very late last Friday, and he was acting a little unusual, but he slept pretty well, so I'm guessing whatever he did was a good deed. You never saw him, and I don't know what he did. And this conversation never happened. You understand?
What if he finds out that you pried into his secrets?
Don't be silly. I don't know what secrets he does or doesn't have. All I know is he's just a normal guy who happens to run some errands for the king.
Are you scared of him?
I don't know. The Rerir I know doesn't match the person you all describe. Logically, I should be scared of him. And yet, I don't want to lose him. But enough about that. You should get going, and be careful with the package I gave you. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
What's in it?
A piece of the moon. All you need to know is that as long as you keep it safe, then in the future, everyone will be able to see a red moon.
A red moon? You mean our moon?
That's right. Our moon. Promise me you'll look after it.
I promise, the Lindis.
The Crimson Moon bloodline will never die out. Its light, the color of blood, will become like a fire that flows in our veins, no matter how long it takes.
everyone, and stick to the plan.
Sir Dainsleif, what are you? Is this treason? You know what happens to those who betray the throne. Please, don't do this!
It is the king himself who has betrayed the throne. He has betrayed all of Conria.
If you have any love left for justice in your heart, you should join me.
It's showtime. Dane and his group will handle the troops in the palace. Then Hraptatyr and Rhindaughter will disarm the security measures. My job is to enter the prison and rescue Vedifalnir. Stay safe. Wish me luck.
Look after my brother. Draw your blade. It is time for justice to prevail.
And the smell is abominable. Clearly, the king doesn't allow his prisoners a single shred of dignity. This is dire. Found you. Hello, Mr. Vedifalnir.
Ah, it's you.
Surprised? Oh, wait. I guess surprise isn't an emotion that prophets feel very often.
I certainly felt some surprise in the moment when I was blinded. Surprise at the king's sheer ignorance. Surprise at just how unfairly this world responds to words of earnest remonstration.
I'm curious. What did you prophesize this time?
It wasn't a prophecy. It was a word of warning. Someone had to say it. The king has forsaken all reason in pursuit of his obsessions. I simply told him that if he continues on this path, Khaenri'ah will surely fall.
But he didn't listen. Worse still, he stabbed you in both eyes and locked you away. Dane asked for my help. The court is in complete chaos now, but I'm sure you predicted that.
Everything is transpiring as I foresaw, yet I am powerless to change it. Fate is an immutable force. I can but lament as the inevitable unfolds. I do wonder whether giving a man the power to see the future does nothing more for him than slowly crush his spirit.
Forgive my curtness, Vedifulnir, but the king did not suddenly turn on you today. His suspicions have been brewing for a long time. You can't have wisdom beyond the reach of your fellow man without attracting his fear and suspicion. There are things the king does not want to see. So, he doesn't want you having visions of them either. He blinded you because he thought this would make the visions stop.
He wasn't entirely wrong. I did indeed lose my power to see the future. Right up until...
Until what?
Just now. I believe I saw something new.
Well, tonight could go a lot of different ways. 5 of us banded together to storm the palace, also we could rescue you. This will go down as the most tumultuous day in Khaenri'ah history.
I sense hatred in you, but also hope. A desperate hope that with the tyrant deposed, that will be the end of the story. But this is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter, in a whole new story. There are many men of honor and courage in this world, Rerir. But you are not one of them. You're not here for justice, are you? You're here for yourself. Is that a dagger? Interesting. Why not the polearm? It was always your weapon of choice.
With your abilities, I don't doubt that you were able to recover some of your sight. But I also doubt that you want to make an enemy of me right now.
Of course not. We're on the same side, aren't we?
We could be. But I need you to be honest with me, Vedifulnir. At this point, you're my only hope for the future.
You mean your future? With your beloved, Thelindis?
Yes. And I know there are bigger things at stake here. A dynasty, a nation, maybe the entire world. But forgive me, I care first and foremost about myself. I can't abandon the one I love to save myself. I just can't do it. But you see a broader picture of the future than I. You see the solutions to the biggest problems of our age. So tell me, what is my solution? What's the answer?
In matters of fate, answers are either right or wrong. What will be and what will not. Maybe that is the cruelest thing about fate. It is unmoved by your sacrifices.
That can't be true. I know it's your voice that I keep hearing in my head, urging me to see how the world is changing, to seek more power, so I can protect the things I love. You show me disaster, but you won't show me how to avoid it? Why? Why are you doing all this?
My voice. In your head. So, you hear it too. The voice that steals your mind, gains your trust, and drives you crazy. It turns out that we are not so different, you and I.
Vedifulnir just broke into the strangest smile I've ever seen in my life. As if he'd discovered some monumental secret. But then he suddenly switched to looking extremely weary.
Very well then. My advice to you is as follows. You must persevere. Whatever trials and tribulations you may face, be steadfast in the belief that they are your path to the future. For as long as you live, your story with Thelindis shall not come to an end. That is the only chance you have of fighting back against fate. It is up to you whether you believe my words. Regardless, that is all I will say on the matter. I have no right to intervene any further.
I will hold you to your word.
Thank you for setting me free. In return, I will tell you one more thing that you cannot afford to ignore.
Just then, a strange wave of energy rippled through the city. We had no idea what it could mean.
If I were you, I would head to the Universitas Magistrorum.
The Universitas? Oh no!
I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again very soon, Rerir.
Whatever Vedifalnir said, I didn't catch it. I didn't even help him out of the prison. There was no time to lose. Monsters? Is this Rhindaughter's doing? Or the Universitas Magistrorum? Out of my way!
Don't be scared.
A round of applause! Step right up.
The Universitas. That reminds me of a rumor I once heard. Allegedly, the king installed secret mechanisms in the palace and around the city. No one knows where they are or what kind of power they hold. But if they were ever gonna activate, it would probably be on a night like tonight.
Help! Help!
Hold on! Don't let them anywhere near you!
Save me! I can't! Ah!
That sounded like an explosion. So, the rumor is true? The king really went through with it? What other means does the king have at his disposal? They must run on power from the Abyss. And given it's a major center of Abyss research, anyone over at the Universitas will be in grave danger. I have to hurry!